Okay, this is very awkward because exactly 3 days ago, I posted a video in which I said that spending money on the DJI Osmo Pocket was a waste of money for me. I had my own reasons, and you can check that video here, or at the end of this video, I'll link it. But then the universe decided to play a prank on me. And now here we are because I got this DJI Osmo Pocket 4 for free. And I'm only human. If you gift me the shiniest, newest toy in town, who am I to say no? So today we're gonna find out, is this the camera that's gonna make me eat my words? Or is it just a shinier version of the problems that I already had with this camera? It's currently 5:30. I just woke up. I wanna go to the location that we wanna shoot today, and we are trying to catch the sunrise. So it's gonna be very important for me to hurry up. I'm so tired. Like, I slept at midnight and now I just woke up like I'm dead. But we've got to do what man gets to do. I don't know all the specs off head, so I'm just gonna read them out for you guys. I'm not a specs guy. I don't like going into details about specs. I'm more of a guy who cares more about the usability and, like, how does the camera feel and how is the experience of using the camera, how is the footage looking like. Those are the things that I care about whenever it comes to filmmaking gear. But for those of you who are interested in specs, I'll read out some of the most important things that maybe you guys might be interested in knowing. I'm ready to go. Ready to go. One of the most talked about spec, of course, is a 240 frames per second slow-mo that everyone is talking about. I don't think I'm gonna ever use that or I'll ever find a use case scenario for that, but a lot of people are really waxing lyrical about it. I don't like it. I've used it, I've tried it. Because for such a camera that has a small sensor, it still crops in for you to be able to get this 240 frames per second, which reduces the quality of the footage further. And apart from that, there is no D-Log in slow-mo, so it's not a feature that I find to be super interesting, but maybe there are people who will find that interesting, people who do action sports and stuff, I don't know. The good thing is 4K 100 and 4K 120 have no crop, but there is also no D-Log. D-Log goes only up to 4K 60. And I'm talking a lot about D-Log as if I like that color profile. I actually don't like D-Log. There is active tracking 7.0. I don't even know how active tracking 1.0 was, so I have nothing to compare it with, but it's pretty good. It's actually pretty good. I tested it. The active tracking is amazing. Let me see. Let me just disappear. There. Oh, it picked me up immediately, which is crazy. Like, this is really good feature for those of you who want to film themselves, who are shooting this day in the life content. And I think it will also be a useful feature for me whenever I take this camera out to film behind the scenes when I'm working on other projects or on client projects. And then I don't have somebody to shoot some BTS for me. I think I can use this active tracking feature like really well. It's really good. I like it. I'm impressed. And now my favorite feature is the internal storage. Like, it has 107 gigabytes of internal storage. That's the best feature of this camera, if you ask me. Like, nothing beats that, because there are people like me out there. If you're out there and you're like me, I feel you. I'm always forgetting SD cards. I'm always forgetting to bring SD cards to shoots. And now I have a collection of like 20 SD cards. I don't know, because almost for every shoot that I go, I'm always forgetting to bring SD cards. And so what I do is I end up buying new SD cards wherever I'm going, wherever I'm filming. Like, it's crazy because even last weekend, I was out DJing and I was supposed to film my set and I forgot to bring the SD card. And I had to buy a new SD card wherever I was DJing there. So having internal storage is a huge, huge, huge thing for me. Like, that, apart from any other thing, like, you can remove every other thing from this camera and I won't really care that much. But that internal storage, I think that's a game changer for me. And I wish all cameras would just be having that. What really surprised me about this camera is the dynamic range. Well, I don't think it surprised me that much because I think the iPhone can do the same thing, But the fact that filming against a window, like this camera could perfectly expose the sky outside and the shadows inside, which is crazy. Like in normal circumstances, in order for us to do that with mirrorless cameras or even the cinema cameras, you've got to do meticulous lighting. You've got to bring a lot of lights to be able to expose for the window. Like right now, I've set the exposure on auto and I'm filming in normal color profile. And like it's crazy how it balances the sky outside and me here inside, given the fact that it's sunny outside and the sun is not hitting my face at all. And there is no reflector or anything. Like this is crazy. You can see the way it balances everything. But when you do this, like there are things that you trade off. Like for example, the way auto balance works in this camera, it's playing with ISO and it's also playing with shutter speed. So there is a probability that my motion blur will not be natural in this video. But this is a vlogging camera. Like things like motion blur are not things that you wanna care that much about when it comes to a vlog. A vlog is raw and yeah, like it's nothing cinematic. Whenever you're trying to get those shots that we call cinematic shots, then it matters. It matters a lot. But like just a vlog filming yourself, I don't think motion blur matters that much. But then if you switch to D-Log, then you run into problems because you will have to color grade that video and now you have to play with exposure by yourself. And I think it becomes hard. I tried to color grade footage from this camera and it's hard. I have to be honest. Color grading D-Log is hard simply because I think the small sensor just doesn't capture a lot of details. I think they claim it has 14 stops of dynamic range or something like that. I'm not sure. Let me see. Because I tried color grading this footage and it was breaking apart like really fast, which is something that does not happen when you have bigger cameras or cameras with bigger sensors. There is a lot of noise coming from outside. Somebody's using a power saw, I think. Somebody's trying to cut a tree. Let me connect this DJI mic mini and then we hear the sound difference because so far, up to now, I've been filming everything internally using the internal mic, which is crazy. Now, I'm gonna switch to this, then we're gonna hear the difference. So now I've connected the DJI mic mini and you can now hear the difference in audio. I haven't heard it, so you guys can hear it first before me and you can make a judgment for yourself and then you can understand the difference between the mic mini or an external mic and the internal mic. The thing is, when I went out with the camera and I listened to the output from the internal mics, I actually liked it. Like, I was like, I actually don't need to bring the external mic with me, or if I forget an external mic, it won't be that tragic because I feel like the internal mics are pretty good. So, like, we are done filming, like, outside. It's currently 9 a.m. We've gotten all the shots, the sun is out, I'm heading home. Grid lines would be super helpful in such a camera, and it has them. So I find that to be cool. I actually have them turned on in this particular camera. When you're filming in slow-mo, the camera will still capture the audio. I find that to be super cool, but it will capture the audios as a separate file, which you can later on sync in post, which I think will be super hard to do. But it's cool to have the audio in case you want to use it for something else. I don't know, whatever you do with it. Another feature that I've seen a lot of people excited about is the zoom, but this is a digital zoom. Like if I press once, that is, I think, 2 times zoom. I don't know. And then if I double press, then it zooms in again. But this is a digital zoom. You can see like the quality. You compromise the quality a little bit. Like you lose some quality when it comes to this zoom because it's just digital. But it's not like a feature that I'd be excited about. I don't think I'm ever gonna use it anyway. But it's just cool to have for those who wanna use it. I don't know. I don't think it's for me. Now, one of the main issues that I have with this camera is the fact that one of its selling points is the 240 frames per second slow mo. But then this camera is also meant for people who are making social media content, which is vertical. But now, in vertical mode, you actually can't do slow mo, which is weird. You understand? Given the fact that this camera is for social media content, and social media content is now primarily vertical, but you're not giving people the high frame rates in vertical, which is ironic. Secondly, another thing that is a very, very high selling point for the camera is the night mode, but it's also not in vertical format. So for people looking to make TikTok content and Instagram content and YouTube shorts, it's a bummer because the low light capabilities of the camera that are being marketed are not even there in vertical format. And then another thing, the vertical format doesn't support 4K, it only goes up to 3K. So if you're marketing the camera as a 4K camera, but then when you go to vertical format, you lose the 4K, then until trying to deceive the customers or something, I don't know. And then when you switch to night mode, you have no D-Log. So for the people who really want to color grade the footage, you're not getting D-Log whenever you're shooting in low light. So you'd rather not switch to night mode, which is one of the selling points of the camera, if you want to film something that you're planning to color grade later and give it to your own look. You understand what I'm saying? And then if you want to get also those slow-mo shots, you're losing D-Log again. You understand? So those slow-mo shots, you cannot color grade them and give them your look if that's what you're looking to do with this camera. So forget about that. You've got to use the normal picture profile that the camera comes with. Another thing on the night mode goes only up to 30 frames per second. So if you're planning to turn on night mode and then film in those high frame rates, you cannot get that. And then the last thing, and the worst of them all, I don't know who advised DJI to switch from this type of case to this pouch. This makes it no longer a pocket camera because I can't fit this in my pocket. You understand? I don't know who came up with this idea, but this sucks. I just have to be honest. This sucks. This I can put it in my pocket. This, come on. And then there is this thing, I don't know how it's called, but it's used to keep the gimbal secure. It's actually magnetic. This idea was also not genius at all because getting this thing out is hard. And I always feel every time that I want to take it out, I feel like I'm gonna break the gimbal. It's so hard to pull it out because it's magnetic and it sticks here. It's sticking. So if you put this magnetic stuff here to protect the gimbal and then pulling it out, it's really hard. Like it's tough to pull this thing out. You can easily break the gimbal using the thing that is supposed to protect the gimbal. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know who came up with that idea, but that guy is not a genius. That guy is, I don't want to say stupid, but kinda dumb, you know. Anyway, now that I have this camera, I'll try to vlog. I'm gonna try. I really am. I'm gonna try to vlog and use this camera because the first attempt with the DJI Osmo Pocket, which is here, I actually failed terribly. But this time, now that I've got the shiny new toy in town, I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try my best to do more content, more vlogging content, raw content. I'm actually not gonna be using D-Log because I'm not gonna go out there using this camera pretending to be a pro. I already know I'm a pro. I already know I can color grade, and whenever I wanna shoot footage that I wanna color grade, I'm gonna use my bigger cameras, the Panasonic or the Blackmagics. With this camera, it will just be for fun. I'm going to use normal picture profile on anything and everything unless otherwise. Unless I feel like I want to color grade because color grading this footage is hard. I've spent 2 or 3 hours trying to color grade the D-Log footage that I've shot using this camera, and it's hectic because the 14 stops of dynamic range is actually not true. Not true at all. So I don't want to waste my time color grading this footage when I can just use the normal picture profile. And I'm not shooting any serious content using this, but rather the raw format content that doesn't require much editing, and nobody will be looking at it and thinking, oh, this guy is a professional, why is he making this type of content? Everybody will be looking at it and be thinking, yeah, this is raw format content which must not look professional. You understand what I'm saying? I think that's the use case scenario for this camera. And maybe I'll use it to record my DJ sets. I don't know. I'll see if it can replace my Insta 360, although now it doesn't have 360 capabilities. But otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you got value from it. If you did it, just give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Otherwise, thank you for watching and see you next week. Blessings.